I was quickly realizing that it had been a horrific idea to go about this alone. I was terrified of being by myself, but they usually said, you ought to be more afraid of getting company in the dark, right? I attempted to use that thought to settle my nerves as I drove, slowly along Calvary Drive. My car's headlights, like two sparkling feline eyes, lit up the gloom in the front of me. However, that, of course, only made things creepier. I was half expecting a demon to come out on the road ahead of me any minute now. I desperately willed the sun to rise back up in an hour after it had set. Is this a good time to curse your very own stupidity? I asked aloud. Shut up and pay attention on the road. My inner thoughts continually controlled an excessive amount of my body at times like this. Just go away. Drive away. You haven't seen something, and that's a terrific thing. Are you serious? Do you even remember why you came out here in the first place? You're not leaving yet. You may not go away ever if you keep driving. My fingers tightened across the steering wheel, and I tried to focus on the street ahead. To my right, I had my digital camera propped up on the dashboard, filming. Filming what? Nothing so far. I wasn't pretty certain if I desired that to change. I may want to settle for driving aimlessly with the dark. It was so relaxing, I could go to sleep at the wheel, and that would not be a hassle due to the fact the road was so lifeless. I wouldn't have to worry about hitting a living soul. I kept my passenger side door unlocked. You could say I was waiting for a person. I gulped when I caught sight of the stark white gravestones dotting Calvary Cemetery right next to the street. Were there ghost hunters there this night? I failed to see any flashlights. Actually, my car lights have been the only thing illuminating that night, and then I heard a soft tapping on the passenger side, startling me. At once, I went into panic mode. Was it her? I wasn't ready yet. The tree branch swung back and bobbed in the still air before waiting to alarm its next victim. What next victim? Nobody was stupid enough to drive in this road at nighttime but me. I resisted the urge to curse out a tree and instead turned the headlights on to their brightest. I could now see the steeple of Bellefontaine Cemetery poking out through the thick blanket of woods. No flashlights there either. Hello? The phrase slipped out of my mouth before I even knew what I was saying. My foot pressed on the brakes. So close. She slipped in the car silently. The first thing I observed was that her hair, it was red? A dull, washed-out red, like someone had rubbed dirt in it earlier, then soaking it all out again. However, not now, before leaving traces of brown streaked everywhere. I found it strange that her hair was the wrong color, but then my eyes went to her dress, and the hair was forgotten in my thoughts. Her dress was the brightest white I had ever seen. Wrinkles had been everywhere, but I was fixed on her face now. She seemed surprisingly human. Reach out, touch her cheek. See if she's clearly a ghost. Are you crazy? What type of psychopath might be on the street presently? Just keep quiet and keep driving. However, focus the camera on her first. Unexpectedly, I swiveled the camera in order that it was pointing towards the woman in the passenger seat. I was still in surprise, but I knew I was getting exactly what I got here for. The redhead paid my digital camera no attention. Her eyes seemed blank. However, also, a shiver ran through my body, and I attempted not to consider it further. My job now was to keep driving all the way to Bellefontaine Cemetery. The car was dead silent. I choked back a breath. Why did the air smell so musky? It was her. She smelled of dust and grime and sweat. A ghost wasn't supposed to odor, right? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her move her palms, Now that I thought of it, her hands, I hadn't got a glimpse of them yet. I didn't see them when she entered my car, and of course a ghost would not put on the seatbelt. What was she doing? She hasn't stated a word. How does she realize I know where to take her? I heard a solid crack. My camera had fallen to the floor. What? Click. Ghost wasn't supposed to hold a gun to your head.